Morning, afternoon, guys. How you doing, Richard? Morning, Joe. Hey, Mel. Yeah, I can't wait for Christmas Day. Can have one day off. So, excuse me, need to drink. A little bit more of an update on the Guardian zones. I've got the 60 minutes now on all these charts. I'm going to go through them. Actually, I got my grandson's Christmas present right here. It's a turntable for vinyl record players and speakers and stuff. He's into that now. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about, and this is a spot Forex. This is my account. I've got 10 charts here. I don't really. So for me, it's quite simple to understand, but obviously for some people think, oh my God, I'll never be able to trade or anything. But there's some things that sort of bring to your attention for certain strategies that work for certain instruments with Forex. And it could be oil as well and gold and things like that. So first of all, I'm going to go Euro US dollar because that's your basic, which is also 6E on futures. Okay, now just going to I did change this to 10 minutes earlier. Why has it gone all funny again? Okay. Hi Otis, how you doing? So you'll see here, got um, the Guardian zones. There's just the 60-minute zones on there for now. Um, well, not here. It's windy and rainy here. So yeah, but so Guardian zones are coming along. There's still work to do. This is still only the 60-minute zones. But today I wanted to talk about a lot of the time we talk about confluence on different time frames. Basically, that's multi-dimensional and that's not available for everybody, okay? Because not everybody's got where I am in Europe right now, I've got in my office here, I've got four 32-inch curved monitors, okay? Which is okay, it's good. But not everybody has that. When I'm in Dubai, I've got five. You know, it, and some people only just got it on one screen. So we need to figure out or talk about understanding that behavior, combining some of those indicators to help with that. So with this Euro US dollar here, we have let me just make sure opening bar ranges, roller coaster. I just want to add the xBrat algo as well. So this type of chart setup really is for those that can't do multi-dimensional. So basically, you've only got one screen. Yeah, and some people like that. That's fine. Um, but we need to choose a time frame. Yeah. So for me, if I'm trading currencies or I'm trading oil or gold, 10 minutes is a fantastic time frame. It allows me to use my range breakout that you see here. It allows me to use the roller coaster and it also allows me to use my xBrat algo. And obviously the bias depth heat map is under there. Okay. Um, so what the idea of today is to try and sort of aim for those people who've just got one screen. Yeah. To try and figure out, and I'm trying to let you know that the 10-minute time frame, whether it's currencies or commodities or something like that, is probably the better way to go to look at that combination just on one time frame. And what you're still looking for confluences, but you're also more looking at behaviors more, as well, more than anything. So again, so on here, I've got the bias depth heat map underneath. I've got um, I've got an EMA running at 21 at the moment. I've got the xBrat algo, I've got the roller coaster, and I've got the range breakout. I've also got on my 60-minute zones from the Guardian zones right now, but we're still building this. This is a good 6 week, maybe 3 months away, but it's looking pretty good. So that's the euro US dollar. Then I want to go and have a look really to, so let's go back to here again. So with the euro US dollar, we're interested in the New York Gold Pit Open, okay? And that's at 8:20 a.m. EST. And then I'm interested in the European Open, okay, which is 8 a.m. European time, which is 2 a.m. EST. This then range defines those opening ranges, but more importantly, it helps us understand those behaviors. So we get this opening range here. You get data yesterday, and we had this massive spike up. There was a good scalp there. I actually did trade that. Where's my GC chart? It's on my VPN. So let me bring that over. I did actually trade that here. I was in with two contracts at 433. 4,333. You see the blue arrow there, go big. And I took profit at 4,337.9 with two contracts. So you do the math. That's quite a lot of ticks for two contracts. And I just went for the scalp. Okay. Really just, so 433 to 437. Okay. So we're 4 points. So it's nearly 50 ticks. I put my take profit at 50 ticks. So with two contracts, that's 100 ticks, that's $1,000. Really, really quick understanding that when you get that 10 minutes, let's move this out of the way so you can see it. When you get that 10 minutes opening range at 8:20 to 8:30, and then the data comes out at 8:30, yeah, we look for that big spike and just quickly go, take it, walk away. Let it do its thing. Then it comes up back through the range, down through the range, tries to break back up. It acts as resistance and then comes back down again at this point here. There is an opportunity at this point to go short. Okay, not a bad short. Again, if we go more conservative with this, so we'd be very aggressive with a 21 EMA towards the open. But as we're going into the afternoon, we'd need to be looking at something like a 34. Okay. So you're going to have to be a little bit dynamic here and change some of these. Yeah. So see how it comes down. Tests, keeps coming down, tests all the way down. And it was a big, big move. I mean, this was wow. Okay. Yeah. It's a lot, a lot. Okay. That was 0.48%. That was a big move. And then we come into the European Open this morning. Nothing really happening until it comes back down to test this opening range again. We already had a roller coaster along at this point, but it's, we're looking for bouncers. This was a good bounce, good trade here. Now we've got a 5-star buy. There could be something on the cards here. What we got data-wise today, have a quick look. Thursday, we've got UK data bank BOE. That's probably going to, it will affect the US dollar more, but GBP US dollar is going to be more of a thing there. We've got US data. So we've got inflation data and everything at 8:30. So there's going to be some big data. And what time? We're on 8:08 now. So this is, it's a tough trade, this one. Interestingly, on the app, I think I've just seen a 4 out of 5 on MGC for a long. So if I'm looking at this on XAU USD right now, and I've got data coming out in 20 minutes, I'm probably may be interested in a long here, but it's got to break the European opening range at this sort of price here. But I'd want the catalyst to be the data. Okay. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious in going in there. Just want to look at those charts for MGC a second. So no, that won't go in. It's run out of juice as far as the roller coaster won't go in there because it has to go within so many candles. So we won't get an app trade there. But what we've got is a potential, and we will be here for the data. It's in 20 minutes. So we're going to come back to gold in 20 minutes time and look for a trade there. Okay. Let's go to GBP. So this one, I've got three opening ranges here. I've got the New York Gold Pit Open, I've got the London Open, and the European Open. Again, you can see the Guardian Zone starting to actually be very relevant here, looking pretty good. Again, these pink ones are the 60-minute zones. We're still working on getting those perfect. So then that same logic can be applied across multiple timeframes to get it on the same chart. But we just have to be conscious that it's not that easy. And it was a bit clunky coming into today, but all of a sudden found a solution to make it stop it from slowing the chart down. So again, we've got to understand where these opening ranges are, where we are in the time of the day. And so, for example, we can see here, we got this 60-minute zone that forms there. If we actually take that and look at show projections only, we can see that actually comes in here. We can see this really strong resistance up here. We get a 5-star sell here, but we've got a 60-minute zone underneath. We get the roller coaster as well, but then we get a 6-star sell at this point here. So sensibly, the short trade is when it breaks that support here, and look how it goes there all the way down. We can then revert back to this trailing stop from the roller coaster all the way down through the European Open, through the London Open, and then eventually it comes back out and takes that trailing stop. We've had UK data, or will be having UK data soon. Yeah, we've had it 6 minutes ago, so there's been no massive reaction at this moment in time. Remember, we do have data coming out as well, so we can make a decision around data as well. We could look for this sort of bearish move to be over and look for a long trade breaking up through there as well, because this data will affect the US dollar. It will therefore affect gold. It will therefore affect GBP US dollar, which is 6B. You know, this data will impact the US dollar, and all of those correlations, all of those currencies that are pegged to the US dollar, all of those commodities will react. It's if we've got a sensible strategy and understanding that operational landscape that will get us into a particular trade. So I do actually think I would look for an impulse move and a break here, maybe on GBP US dollar. On the gold, remember we were looking for a reaction. It's going to be a bit late here. We've got a 6-star buy now. We got this, but we can't enter a trade 15 minutes before the bloody data. Otherwise, it could reverse on us. Okay. So this moment in time, we can't make a decision, but I'd ideally like a break up through there. Okay. If depending on the price action just before the data, and we're looking for a reversal, where depending on where we are, I would look for a reversal coming back out of this sort of range and taking the profit down here. So we've got some options here on this data. Or are we thinking Thursday? Did I read that wrong? Thursday. Oh, right. Okay. In which case then we're all green. We've got the gold pit open in 5 minutes. We will wait for that to happen. Yeah, my head is absolutely screwy Louie at the moment. I've got so much going off. So let's go to US dollar, Canadian dollar now. Yeah, CPI's Thursday. So with this, again, 10-minute time frame, let's keep it on one chart. I've got the xBrat algo on there, the range breakout. I need to put the buy step heat map on there. So the only real sort of range I'm interested in is that New York Stock Exchange Open. Okay. Because that will drive the US dollar more than anything. And then US dollar Canadian dollar will react. So in this case, US dollar Canadian dollar went up at this point. There was some opportunities. Again, it came down at this point here. So let's talk about these last two trades very, very simply. Again, Guardian zones on there. It will be available to purchase February time-ish. But we're knocking on the door. It's not coming down, but then we get a roller coaster. We get a six-star bar, a six-star sell. We've got loads of room underneath. We've got all of the buy step heat map. We go short at this point here, all the way down to the New York Stock Exchange Open. Just before the New York Stock Exchange Open, guess what? Get out. Okay. You haven't got a crystal ball. You can't tell what's going to happen. We then, as you can see, we get the reversal in here. And this is what I really like. We see the opening range, the first candle, 10-minute candle, defines the range. At this point, I'd put a straddle on. I'd put a short on underneath here, and I'd put a long on here for a reversal. It did reverse really, really well. Good move up here. We see this rejection more than 50%. Get out. Okay, I can't show you the manager on here because my particular Forex broker doesn't do volume, but I have to use another chart on something else to get that volume. But so it comes back down, it bounces off, we go up again, it comes down, it bounces off, and it just keeps doing that. But we do get at this point, after this bounce off of this opening range, we get a roller coaster. We get an xBrat algo. Not really interested because the buy step heat map's not really with us. Comes back down, comes up again, but now we get a six-star buy signal. Okay. Plus also we can see just before then, we can see this is the EMA, the running on the roller coaster. That's going to be pretty much to that point. So the risk is going to be really low coming into here because I'm going to use this EMA for my stop. And then you can see it goes all the way up to that 60-minute zone, which we've hit, and it's come back down and taken a trailing stop. Because at this point, we've got a lot more green, which is really helpful for us, okay? Because that buy step heat map gives us that confirmation. So in the matter of a couple of days, we've got a good short, we've got a great long, and now we're just waiting, okay? We're just waiting for something. We're waiting for the US Open with a Canadian dollar. So there's nothing there for us at the moment. Let's go to oil now. So oil has been on a run down just recently. There was a nice trade yesterday. Did I trade it? I can't remember. Oil. No, I don't think I did. No, I didn't. But again, look, let's talk about this. What's happening on this 10-minute chart again? We got a roller coaster forming here before the oil pit opened. So, and we're looking for a short. We get a six-star sell before the open. We get the opening range. So we've got one, two, three confluences there. We've got all 6 time frames red during the opening range. We go short. Nice trade. Okay. Nice trade. Coming back, we get the reopen last night. We get roller coaster, 5-star buy. When we don't take the long until we break out through the range here, but look how it came back down, tested the opening range, and then went back up again. We can use this roller coaster to manage the trade, okay? Because even though this big pullback came down, it found support in this opening range and went back up again. These opening ranges act like support and resistance zones, and they're very important to have on your chart. Sometimes you can trade them like this because you've got a lot of confluence going into there. Sometimes you can trade them going out the other side when they're coming back in because I've got more confluence. I've got roller coaster, I've got xBrat algo telling me to go long. I just want to make sure I clear that resistance and take that long. I ride the pullback because I'm using this from the roller coaster as my trailing stop. Simples. No real trade today because the London Open was yellow, which is neutral. Okay, so there's no real direction or bias with that, so there was no real trade. What we've got to wait for now is to come back and test the London Open. We've got the oil pit open at 9 a.m. EST. There's other opportunities for that. So we've just had the gold pit open now. Okay, so now we're going to wait for that to do its thing. Yeah. So at the moment, we're full bullish bias. Just need to check on my Ninja Trader because I'm still, yeah, on the Ninja Trader as well. There's a lot of room up above to 44.30. The prices are different here because this is XAUUSD. But if yeah, it's just there's a lot of room up above. So what we have to wait for is for this opening range to close that's being formed now. And if it's green, we look for the long breakout. Okay. Similarly, we've got at this moment in time, we have GBP US dollar forming an open range in that gold thing. At the moment, it's yellow. We could go for a straddle here. If it remains yellow, I'd be looking for a short coming out of here, of this zone, or a long coming out of this zone here. So there are opportunities there, depending on where this goes. There's 8 minutes, 15 seconds left yet. Yes. So the range breakout gives you set these. So on my settings here, for example, for the opening ranges, I've got Europe showing starting out at 2 a.m. EST. I've got New York Gold at 8:20. Yeah. And then I've got nothing else. Or have I got London? I've got London at 3 a.m. Yeah. So and then you can add oil. So for example, if I go to oil here and go to the settings, we've got two basically custom settings. So I've typed oil in there, 9 a.m. EST, yes, 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 and then it shows the oil pit open. So depending on the markets, depending on when those opens are relevant to you, most of the European gold pit opens at 2 a.m. or the London Open are relevant to most markets. If it's copper, for example, because I used to trade copper professionally, it's the London Open rather than the European Gold Pit Open that's very relevant. So you're starting to define that operational landscape for that particular instrument. And they are, you can change those times of the day and everything like that. I know, for example, one of my apprentices that just finished trades soybean futures. That's all he trades. But he looks for that soybean futures open, and then and then trades that when the market opens. Looks at that first 10 minutes and then trades out of that. Very, very good. So very adaptable. Looks like US dollar, Canadian dollar is forming a potential there, but there's very little on there. We do have so very mixed on the buyer stepped heat map for euro, US dollar as well. The opening range is green. Okay, so we would be looking for a long out of there at that sort of price, but we are 6 minutes away yet, so we've got a lot of time. So really, for this open, for this gold pit open, I'm interested in gold, Euro US dollar, GBP US dollar. The others really aren't sort of reactive to that. They're the three that will sort of draw my attention to this time. Uh, US dollar, Swiss franc, for example, at this moment in time, so I need to add my xBrat algo. And then what I need to do is change this to a 10-minute. And I'm going to put normal candles. Okay, so now I'm going to add, got a few minutes left, so I'm just going to add my range breakout. Did it add? Yeah. So now what I'm interested in on this one is the European Open, definitely US dollar, the Swiss franc. Okay, I'm not interested in London, but I'm interested in the New York Stock Exchange Open here. These are the two ranges that are really going to help me out with this. Okay, so you can see here you've got the European Open. I mean, to be honest, if I was trading full time and not running a project team of 30 people for an app and all of that sort of stuff, I'd have taken this short trade here. Okay, so it breaks the roller coaster long. This is the European Open sitting just on top of this 6 minute zone. It's really cool. So when it breaks out, it's good. Take the short, comes back, tests his resistance, and then we're still in the trade. Okay, that's that simple. But understanding where that European Open is, not necessarily trading it at this point, is very, very important because when it breaks down below there, breaks this 60-minute zone, I'm good for a short all the way down to here. You see how we're overlapping here with this 60-minute zone and this range breakout. Very, very strong. So we're coming, we've got 4 minutes left yet. So let me just, I just want to add an EMA to there. 21. Okay. Yeah, it's still being this trade right now. So what else have I now? US dollar, Japanese yen. So at the moment, I've got the US stock market open. I can't remember. It's a long time since I traded this, but there is a Japanese stock market open. But I haven't got time to do that. But I will actually, that's the sort of open that I'd be interested in as well. Not necessarily to trade it because I'll be in bed, but it will act as support and resistance going through there. So very, very important. So let's see where we are with gold. It's going sideways at the moment. Potential trade here is there. So what I can do on my trade ticket is I'm looking for a buy, looking for a stop. At this moment in time, I'm looking for a long just above here. My stop loss would be just below the range here. And my take profit is there, for example. And then with gold, I can just change the units at the moment. That's only $4 risk. Okay. So if I go 50, we can see that's $197. If I change that to 25, that's $98 risk for this small move. If I want to go a little less and go 15, that's $59 risk for that particular trade. So that's ready. The problem is I can't come off this chart now and go and set up another one. I need to get closer to the time. I'm not interested in a short here because the bias depth heat map is all green. Okay. And that's the problem here. We have got 1.5 minutes left. So I'm going to take a chance here because I need to set up something else. So that's my orders in now. That's the stock market order above. So it's a 1 to 2 to this sort of take profit, and that's where that is there. Now I'm going to go to GBP US dollar because that's going to be the one that's going to be more work because I'm going to put the long in now. Okay. So buy, stop, it's going to be there. Stop loss is going to be there. Take profit all the way up there. Okay, I can put the buy in now. Need to change that. That's $32 risk. So I'm just going to go, and here, that's $58 risk. That's okay. I'm going to click the buy now. That's in, but now I want to sell, stop. And I want to sell at this point here where I got my stop for the long. My stop loss would be here, and my take profit would be down. It's going to find a lot of support in the London Open. So I'm going to go to there. So that risk is 57. So that sell is on. So this has got 15 seconds left. So the sell is on as well. So I've got the long and the short orders on. It's called a straddle trade. Why am I doing that? Because we're in this 60-minute zone. The opening range is yellow. So there's indecision there. So it's like an each way bet, the straddle. So you've got the long and the short. In theory, it's going to break out either way. So you're going to get that there. That's GBP. We've got the long order on for gold. That's good. So we were green because there's a green thing for the New York Gold Pit Open here for Euro US dollar, but the buy step heat map's no good for us. So I'm not even going to trade that. Okay. I'm going to go back to GBP US dollar. Okay, I'm in the gold. I'm in the gold. Okay. A lot of the times they can spike and come back down or wipe you out. So at some stage, you either got to think, right, that's it. I'm going to take the profit. I'm going to close out, or I'm going to make it risk free. You can't wait for candles to close because this is an impulse move. So right now, I'm going to make this risk free. I'm going to lock in a bit of profit, confirm. It's basically now got to move. Yeah. If it doesn't come back, I haven't lost any money. I've made about $4. Okay. Go to GBP US dollar. So this is still neutral, still not going anywhere. And the reason why I've done the straddle as well, because you see we've got green, amber, and red on the bias depth heat map. It ties in with that neutrality. So we're looking for a straddle trade to break out there as well. Okay, so go back to gold. Seems to be holding its own right now. Did I have a, have I put a, no, I haven't. Let me put I'm still building these chart sets, by the way. Favorites, moving average. Um, okay, good guys. It's good to see Mel and Richard taking these trades. But again, you're both risk-free now, which is a sensible thing to do. This might get a nosebleed and comes back down again. But the thing is now you're risk-free. So you've given it a chance. It's done its impulse move. It comes back out. You take a little bit of profit. You've lost nothing. Sometimes they just go hell for leather, but you can't predict what's going to happen, really. Because I'm live, I didn't actually trade this with futures as well, which has really annoyed me. But again, I'm trying to mix things up for people to show that you can do this with a Forex trading account. So this is XAU USD, still in for now. We can see here with the EMA, it's miles away, even with a 9. Okay, if we went ultra aggressive with a 5, it would be miles away, because it's a breakout strategy. It's very difficult to trade. So I've got this profit here. This it's almost like a mini head and shoulders with this big wiki spinning top here. So that's where my take profit is here. on gold. Let's see what GBP US dollar. Again, this has to take the trade that first candle after. So we've got neutrality. We're in a big support and resistance zone. The opening range is neutral. It has to break out in this first 10 minutes after this opening range has been formed. If it does not, so at 13:40 UK time or 8:40 a.m. EST, I cancel the orders. Yeah, it has to break out. And if it doesn't break out, I could be duped into a trade and it goes sideways all day and I'm babysitting a trade that's doing nothing. Ooh, gold's coming down. I mean, there was opportunities to flatten a trade if you wanted to. Okay, it's taking it out. Didn't lose any money. Yeah, and that's the thing here. Um, yeah, didn't like the wick. Yeah, so Mal, $300 profit. Great, good trade. Um, one of those things. The main thing is you're risk free. You take away the risk quickly because as you can see, it got a nosebleed so far, and that's just not what we want. What we're after is something like this. You see here where it just comes, it just keeps going. You know, really, really strong. $74, Richard, on MGC. Good trade. So our focus has to be at the moment, the next 5 minutes on GBP. Excuse me a minute. I suffer from tinnitus and it's just gone. Yeah, what it is, what it is, Richard. But you didn't lose any. If I wasn't live, I'd have been trading two contracts of GC. But it's got a Bitcoin. Yeah, you have to be very quick. So let me just have a look at Bitcoin a second. Can't see the wood for the trees here. There it is. Do I like this? I do like this. Oh, it needs a bias depth emo, I think. So on the app, when you get the 4 out of 5 here, no, I've got to clear this. We on the phone we just got 4 out of 5 on Bitcoin. Here it's actually gone to 3 again. It's not met certain rules. It's come back down again. All I do on my phone is unplug it because it's fully charged for a start. Open up my perpetual futures account. I'm going to go to futures, and all I'm going to do is on my futures, just get Bitcoin ready. I'm going to put it at, say, there, and I've just got it ready. So if I do get a signal, I can take it. Ooh, we're close, we're close, we're close to that short. We're in the short. We're in the short because of the spread. We're in the short of GBP US dollar because of the spread. So now what I need to do is cancel the long, which I've actually not done on here before. So I've just cancelled the long. Okay. So remember my stop price is above the 60-minute zone. We were neutral, so we're looking for a straddle trade. So I had a long and a short order on. Now the short's been taken in. With the straddle trade, again, the bias depth heat map has to have a mixture of green, amber, and red, which it did. We are within this massive European opening range. Looks like the dollar's getting some strength, which ties in with gold going up. So that's all making sense to me. Um, I've got this take profit here purely because we had when we came out this London Open, it used that London Open as support. So I've got my take profit there right now. So we are just in a waiting game now because this straddle trade. So you saw the gold pit open move dramatically. That's a breakout because the bias was bullish and that long was basically on the cards. Yeah, because the if I just go back to the gold here. So the bias was bullish on the opening range, so the long was on the cards. So that's why we had that massive impulse move out. But when we are neutral, there's less power. Okay. And basically, especially when you've got the confluence of a support and resistance zone on a higher time frame. So this is a 60-minute support and resistance zone. You're looking to looking at the behavior, it's come down, it's come to test. We're actually looking for it to come down, really. We got straddle on for the long, but the behavior and the weight of the whole bit of that whole behavior is that it should come down. So, with that straddle trade, the short is on. Now what we're looking for is just for it to take hold. So with down, now we're coming back into test. We're looking for that resistance to still hold, get a lower resistance than this to high this pivot, which was the opening range. And for it to, this could take a while because we've got that neutrality on the bias on those highest time frames. But we're in. Okay, we're in. We've made a decision. We've understood the neutrality of that opening range, and to be honest, the short should be a better bet than the long. There is another way to think about this: is if this trade does fail, can I? And you see, I think some of you guys last year or early on this year saw me double down on a failed trade. That does work, uh, but with this neutrality, I'm not really going to look at that. I do favour the short here. It's just going to take a bit of time, really. Let's have a look how that euro US dollar. So now with the euro US dollar, we could look at what's called a continuation trade, but the bias depth heat map has to back us up and it's not. So we've had that opening range, it's come down, it's failed. It looks like it wants to go back up again. The range is colored in green, so it is bullish, but we need the backup of this. If this continues to move up and my bias depth heat map starts to get a lot more green, I would be interested in a long coming out here. But actually, this is the opposite direction to the GBP US dollar because they usually go in the same direction. Okay. Now, this is where we're looking at multiple instruments to say, okay, I'm not going to double down on the GBP US dollar, but if it turns around and takes out my stop for the short, this long setting up well with a lot of fresh air up above. I mean, let's see where that resistance is. It's around about here. There could be a call for putting on this to take care of that loss, that potential loss in GBP US dollar. Um, so again, active traders would look at this and decide actually that might be the call if when we go to GBP US dollar, if this gets close to the stop, I would be looking at the moment it's below the entry and it's rejected those highs for now. But I can keep an eye on both of these with these two different chart sets here. And if this buy step heat map starts to get, say, 4 out of 6 green and no red, and we're getting close to that high there, and we're getting close to being stopped out, I can make a decision. Okay, I'm not going to double down on GBP, but I am going to take the long on US dollar and use that to fill the hole of the GBP loss. If that happens, not got a crystal ball. The gold looks pretty good now. Yeah, but again, we've not got a crystal ball. We can't say that that didn't pull down and go, but it did. Okay. It's one of those things. But the best thing is to be safe and live to fight another day. I showed you the one yesterday where I took 50 ticks, just like that, really quick. Yeah, that was $1,000 trade. That didn't quite happen today. Um, that impulse move yesterday was massive and it was more prolonged, and I got to my target, whereas today's just didn't work. Just bear with me a second. Sorry, I'm just checking the app a minute. BTC's back to 4 out of 5. What are we waiting for now? Six-star buy, 5 out of 6. We need another. This we got 5 minutes. Yeah, it's not too high. If it goes much higher, the system will cancel it anyway. Keep an eye on that. Okay, that's coming back up. That GBP US dollar. I do have to go at the top of the hour, guys. I've got to go out, so got to go and pick something up. A lot of the time we're waiting around with trading, I'm afraid. US dollar, Japanese yen. I haven't put a buy step heat map on there yet. I can find it. There it is. Just see the start of a roller coaster forming here. It's pretty neutral on the app. Nothing going off there. I would get ready with Bitcoin. Just saying. The Bitcoin long. I don't know what the max leverage will be because it's moved quite a bit. For those trading crypto perpetual futures, the stop's going to be around 86,177. Let's just see if the system actually cancels it because it's going too far. Oh, it's pushing. There's 3 minutes left as well. This could break the rules. The risk is too high, it won't take it. No, you won't get a signal, I don't think. We'll see. Still 2.5 minutes left before signal window for Bitcoin. Oh, so GBP US dollars coming out, coming back up. It's getting closer, and the Euro US dollar is getting closer there. What we got left? 15 seconds on this candle here. So buy, stop. I'm actually going to put the stop just there and take profit just up there somewhere. Okay, I'm just going to cover my bases here. Is that the Bitcoin? No, it's Sol. Keep your thing close. Okay. So my stop's just below this pivot after the opening range, and also around about where the roller coaster stop is as well. So that's sensible on there. And this is my so the GBP US dollar didn't take out that stop at this moment in time. Okay, but if it does, I've got to fill a $59.50 hole. Okay. Um, so I'm looking for that long on the euro US dollar. Not quite liking a buyer steps heat map, but we're in a state of flux right now. Just going to keep an eye on this Bitcoin. Oh, I don't think you're going to get a signal. Bugger. We'll see. 30 seconds left. Okay, the stop's been taken out for GBP US dollar. There's been no, you won't get a Bitcoin. There was a rejection of the highs. So that's got to wait another 8 minutes now and see how that works. Just check on Sol. Oops. Sol's not close either. Okay. Okay, we'll still go to the top. Anybody got any questions on the range breakout? US dollar, Canadian dollar, look at that. But the price step here, that's no good. Indicators. These currencies are moving a lot today now. There's no data. Euro US dollar trade is not in. Didn't get to where we needed to be. Yeah, so right, gold. If you're on TradingView, because the times of candles are different. So on Ninja Trader, the time would be 8:30 a.m. EST because that's when the candle closes. Okay. On gold for TradingView, it's 8:20 when it opens. So ES on TradingView is 9:30, but on Ninja Trader it's 9:45 because the way the candles are used with times and everything like that is different. Yeah. So with TradingView, it's the actual time that that particular market opens. But with Ninja Trader, it's the 10 minutes after if you're on a 10-minute chart because they look on candle close as the timings for candles. That's the only difference. It's just one of those weird and wonderful things. That makes sense, Mel? Okay, I'll repeat it one more time. On TradingView, the candle timings are different because it's the way that TradingView does it. So if you've got a US open at 9:30, you set your range breakout to 9:30, yeah, for ES. If you're on Ninja Trader, because you're on a 15-minute time frame for indexes, as we discussed before, you put it at 9:45. So with gold, the gold pit open is at 8:20 a.m. So on Ninja Trader, you put it at the actual time it opens. But on a 10-minute chart on Ninja Trader, you would put 8:30 because Ninja Trader works out the times for when the candle closes. Okay. Whereas TradingView does it when the candle opens. Just one of those weird things. Yeah. Who's pinging me? Somebody keeps pinging me. No, it's all to do with the dev team. Anybody got any more questions on the range breakout? We're seeing gold pushing up again, which should correlation with euro US dollar it should go up as well. Just waiting 2 more minutes and then I'm going to go. Just going to see how we close with this Bitcoin. It may time out. We'll see. I think Solano, I don't know whether that's missed the boat or not. Yeah. Yeah, look at GBP US dollar pushing now. It's going with gold. Same with euro. Thanks, Joe. Okay, gold's really pushing now. Thank you. Where's my 6E? I'm going to put the 6E trade on. 4 contracts, stock market. I want to be 17,850.
Order submitted.
Okay, I've put an order on for my 6E as well. Mal, the whole point of today was for people that don't have multiple screens and the ability to have those multiple charts. I prefer with multiple charts and multi-dimensional different time frames. But for the whole point of today was for those that don't have it. So you basically stick to the 10-minute time frame and have everything on the one chart. Okay, guys, I'm going to get going. It's top of the hour. I've put an order on for 6E, which is about to be taken in, I think, and also the Euro US dollar. Yeah, order filled. There we go. We're in.
Order filled.
Okay. And the Euro US dollars in as well. I'm going to put on my 6E a target of 1.1835. It's going to be a bit different on the Euro US dollar. That needs to come down a bit to around about there. Okay. That's good. I'm in that. I'm in the futures with 4 contracts. Oh, shoot. There it is. Just got to let it run now. Okay, guys, I'm going to get going. I'll see you all. Oh, hang on. This week might be the last week until after the new year. Let me just check. Um, Webinars. Yeah, January the 7th is the next one. They've all been cancelled on the system. So yeah, have a great Christmas, everybody. And a good new year. We can see this pushing now. I mean, actually, I'm in this on futures as well. This is forming a 6-star buy right now as well. This is pretty good. I'm going to give it some room to breathe, and hopefully we get a good trade. Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thank you. Take care.